Alright everyone, Tim the Enchanter here with Duelist Community College, and as promised with the Obelisk deck, here is now the Slifer the Sky Dragon deck. And as I'm not having to buy this last minute to participate in a tournament, we are going to open them up here. Let's see what's inside. I mean, I could just take a look at the list, but where's the fun of that, right? Plastic. Same game mat as the last, and let's open up this wrappy plastic. Yeah, that was painful to watch. Alright, so the cards that come in this one are Slifer the Sky Dragon, Soul Crossing, Thunder Force Attack instead of Fist of Fate, Millennium Seeker, not really sure what that does, we'll have to read that later, Ultimate Divine Beast, Tellus the Little Angel, Reactor Slime, Harpy's Feather Duster, Breaker the Magical Warrior, Beast King Barbaros, Nine-Tailed Fox, Phantom Sky Blaster, Card Guard, Caligo Clawcrow, Electromagnetic Turtle, Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior, Scapegoat, Arima the Wicked Warden ×3, Duke Shade the Sinister Shadow Lord, Clock Wyvern, Tenny Spirit Vishuddha, Swords of the Revealing Light, Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, Enemy Controller, Pot of Avarice, March of the Monarchs, Supply Squad, Card Advance, The True Name, One-Time Passcode, Lair of Darkness, Draw of Fate, Mirror Force, Reckless Greed, Metal Reflex Slime, the Golden Apples, and last but not least, back to the front and the 3 promo cards. So that was obviously the one box, and we got 2 others. So yeah, let's take a break and see what we can make with this. Be right back. Alright everyone, so I'm back, and this is the deck I came up with. I'm not entirely sure if it's the best that I could have made, but it works, at least for what I had intended. So I'm actually sort of tempted to also combine Obelisk and Slifer at some point. But anyways, like the Obelisk deck, we do only have 2 Slifer the Sky Dragons, which requires 3 tributes. Normal summon, cannot be normal set. This card's normal summon cannot be negated, while normal summon cards and effects cannot be activated. Once per turn, during the end phase, if this card was special summoned, send it to the graveyard. It gains 1000 attack and defense for each card in your hand. If a monster or monsters are normal or special summoned to your opponent's field in attack position, the monster loses 2000 attack. Then if its attack has been reduced to 0 as a result, you get to destroy it. And then we go with 3 Arima the Wicked Warden. You can discard this card, add 1 Lair of Darkness from your deck to your hand. You can tribute 1 dark monster, draw 1 card. Or if you tributed a dark monster other than this card to activate this effect, you can add 1 dark monster with 2000 or more defense from your deck to your hand instead. You can only use this effect of Arima the Wicked Warden once per turn. Next we have 3 Duke Shade the Sinister Shadow Lord. You can tribute any number of dark monsters, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, it gains 500 attack for each monster you tributed. If this card is special or normal or special summoned, you can target 1 level 5 or higher dark monster in your graveyard. Added to your hand, you can only use each effect of Duke Shade the Sinister Shadow Lord once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters in the turn you activate either of this card's effects except dark monsters. So it does limit a little, which is a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. Then 3 Caligo Clawcrows. If you control a dark monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Caligo Clawcrow once per turn this way. Basically, I mean, most of the monsters, I think, if not all of them, are dark in this deck, except for Slifer. So, I mean, as long as you have any 1 monster on the field, you're going to be able to special summon that at least once. Then we go 2 Scapegoats. When you flip it, you can special summon any number of black sheep tokens. Zombie Dark level 1 attacks and defense are 0. Then because it is in fact limited, 1 Phantom Sky Blaster. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can special summon any number of Sky Blaster tokens. Fiend Dark level 4 attack 500, defense 500. Up to the number of monsters you control. Once per turn during your standby phase, you can inflict 300 damage to your opponent for each Sky Blaster monster you control. Sky Blaster monsters you control cannot declare an attack during the turn you activate this effect. And then last for the monsters will be Tenny Spirit Vishuda. If you control no effect monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. If you control a face-up non-effect monster, you can banish this card from your hand or graveyard, then target 1 card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Tenny Spirit Vishuda once per turn. I just figured if it's in my hand opening, then I'd be able to use it straight away. Because this really doesn't have too many other cards, I am using 3 Soul Crossing, which, you know, again, was in the Obelisk deck as well. During the main phase, immediately after this effect resolves, tribute summon 1 Divine Beast monster. When you do, you can tribute monsters your opponent controls, even though you do not control them. But if you tribute summon this way, apply this effect until the end of the next turn after this card resolves, you can only activate 1 card or effect per turn, not counting the effects of Divine Beast monsters. You can only activate 1 Soul Crossing per turn. So, for those of you who don't know, I could literally use 3 tributes from my opponent's field to pull up my Slifer, the Sky Dragon. And speaking of which, the new cards in this deck, 3 Thunder Force Attack. This card's activation and effect cannot be negated if you control monster whose original name is Slifer the Sky Dragon. Destroy as many face-up monsters your opponent controls as possible. Then if you activated this card during your main phase, you can apply the following effect. Draw cards equal to the number of monsters destroyed by this effect and sent to your opponent's graveyard. Also, you can only attack with 1 monster this turn. So the downside of that is if they have any of the various cards that, instead of sending the cards to the grave from field, they go directly to banish. So, I mean, that would be the one massive downside to that. Then, 2, the true name, because I want to see it, but I want to see it consistently, like opening hand. And that was being pretty hard to do when I had a 3. So, declare 1 card name, excavate the top card of your deck, and if that is the declared card, add it to your hand. Then you can add to your hand or special summon 1 divine monster from your deck. Otherwise, send it to the graveyard. You can only activate 1 true name per turn. Another reason I only have 2 is because I only have 2 Slifer the Sky Dragons in the main deck. Then we go to 3 Lair of Darkness. All face-up monsters on the field become dark. Once per turn, if you attribute a monster you control to activate a card effect, you can tribute 1 dark monster your opponent controls, even though you do not control it. Once per turn during the end phase, special summon as many Torment tokens, Fiend Dark, level 3 attack 1000, defense 1000, as possible to the turn player's field in defense position, up to the number of monsters tributed this turn while this card was face-up. And then 2 Book of Moons. Obviously, just target 1 face-up monster on the field, change that target to face-down defense. Can be either used defensively or in case you don't want to be attacked by a certain card, or have your opponent obviously also like tribute or link off or basically anything. So, Book of Moon, just good to have. Card Advance, 3 copies. Look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, then place them at the top of the deck in any order. You can tribute summon 1 monster in addition to your normal summon set this turn. You can only gain this effect once per turn. That in conjunction with the true name, very, very good. 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. 1 March of the Monarchs. Tribute summon monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. Also, neither player can target them with card effects. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Which, again, like the Obelisk deck, there is no extra deck to this build. 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Swords of Revealing Light, 2 Mirror Force, and the last 2 cards, 2 Reckless Greeds. Now, I do want to mention there were a bunch of other cards that I wanted to put into this deck, but I wanted to also keep it at 40, so I'm giving this build a go this week at Locals, and hopefully it does well. If not, we'll be switching it up. But, so aside from all that, let's just shove all this back in. Let's take a look at the side deck. Hail side draw. Alright, so for the side deck, we have 1 Slifer the Sky Dragon, 1 Beast King Barbaros, You can normal summon set this card without tributing, but its original attack becomes 1900. You can tribute 3 monsters to tribute summon, but not set this card. If summoned this way, destroy all cards your opponent controls, which good way to clear the field, and then hit for 3,000. 2 reactor slimes. During your main phase, you can activate this effect. Special summon 2 slime tokens, aqua, water, level 1, attack and defense 500. Also, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of this turn, except divine beast monsters. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can tribute this card, set 1 metal reflex slime from your hand, deck, or graveyard. It can be activated this turn. You can only use each effect of reactor slime once per turn. Then from there we go to 2 electromagnetic turtles. During your opponent's battle phase, quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and the battle phase. You can only use the effect of electromagnetic turtle once per duel. So I mean, while it's not ideal to have 2 because you can only activate it once per turn, duel, not turn, it does allow you to hopefully see it, that duel. So yeah. Then, because of all the layers of darkness and other cards, 2 Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior. If this card is normal summon, place 2 spell counters on it. If this card is pendulum summon, place 3 spell counters on it. Gains 400 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 1 spell counter from this card, then target 1 spell trap on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect as Breaker the Dark Magical Warrior once per turn. Reason I went with Dark Magical Warrior, even though it does have a tribute requirement. 1, I have Lair of Darkness, so I could use an opponent's monster to do it, but aside from that, there's not really a whole lot of back row destruction in this deck overall, so I figured getting the 2 destructions off of 1 card instead of just the 1 with the normal Breaker, the Magical Warrior, was more ideal. Then 2 enemy controllers. You get to activate 1 of these effects, target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, change that battle position, or tribute 1 monster, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of that target until the end phase. 2 one-time passcodes. Special summon 1 security tokens, Cyberse Light, level 4, attack and defense of 2000. In defense position, you can only activate 1 one-time passcode per turn. Then Pot of Avarice. 1 supply squad, and then the 1 metal reflex slime. Special summon this card in defense position as an effect monster, aqua, water, level 10, attack 0, defense 3000. This card is also still a trap. If summoned this way, this card cannot attack. Now I do want to make mention in this video that with the obelisk build, I had the list in the description say 15 cards for the extra deck, while the video only showed 14. The 15th card was in fact supposed to be a second brain control. I just forgot to actually put it in with the other cards, so I only had the 14, and for some reason I thought it was 15, so I just wanted to address that in this video, and we'll see how this deck does later this week. And as always guys, peace.